Apparently, you guys don't give a shit about the Hall of Fame.
We got more than enough questions about WCW, and we got plenty of questions about WrestleMania 29. The WWE Hall of Fame topic?
Not so much.
Not really.
That's okay, though. We'll make do. Thank you to you guys that did submit questions. There were some good ones. Let's go ahead and get started. Oh, and by the way, the next themed Q&A we would like to do, as part of this, we want to cover events or companies or shows or whatever. We also like to do ones about specific wrestlers, superstars, whatever you want to call them. And with this being WrestleMania season, it seems very appropriate and very time appropriate, especially, to do one about The Undertaker. So you can go to Twitter. Our Twitter handle is what, Mike?
@OffTheRopeShow.
And tweet whatever questions about The Undertaker you would like us to answer. We'll use the hashtag Undertaker.
So original.
That makes sense.
A lot of thought went into that one.
Yeah, it just...
No, it's not like you just thought of that right now. You've been planning that for weeks.
Whatever you say, that's right. I like that thought process. Let's get going with these wonderful questions that we do have. At iRise9 has 2 questions, so you're getting both of them answered. What a treat. How do you feel about WWE inducting a wrestler or manager because they died that year? I apologize, it was on 2 lines. It was 1 question. This kind of comes up, I think, because of the tragic passing of Paul Bearer. You know, there was thoughts of whether or not he was going to get inducted this year. What do you think about them inducting somebody like they did in the past with like an Eddie Guerrero right after they passed away?
Well, I think in that case it was warranted just because of I mean, it was pretty tragic and all, and then you already had built-in inductors, so.
Yeah, I mean, like let's say with the case of an Eddie Guerrero, he's a slam dunk Hall of Famer anyway, so
right.
Why wait? I mean,
you might as well just get it out of the way because you're going to do it. So why put it off? Why make the people demand you do it when you know they're going to?
Yeah, it's a little bit different than, let's say, what's happened with Macho Man, you know, and his unfortunate passing back in 2011, you know. Then I understand some of the thought process that was out there for 2012 with that Hall of Fame class that they would have put Macho Man in that year or even this year. Some people would have been upset just because, you know, why couldn't he do it while he was alive?
Exactly.
I get that. I
it
mean,
really depends upon the individual and the circumstances.
Yeah, but like if they did it for Paul Bearer, you know, maybe it was just one of those things, the timing never worked out right. Would anybody really bitch about Paul Bearer going in the WWE Hall of Fame?
No.
I mean, so, you know, sometimes it just works out that way, unfortunately. At T. Trinell, do you think Chris Jericho can headline a Hall of Fame class?
That's interesting.
I don't know if he could headline it, but he'd certainly be a worthy candidate to be in the Hall of Fame class.
Well, he could be like a maybe not the true headliner, but he could be like maybe a co-headliner or something.
Yeah, I will put it this way: if they did a WrestleMania in Canada, then maybe he could headline.
Yes,
maybe he could headline that Hall of Fame class. Otherwise, I agree with you, Mark, that second billing, but like co-billing. Maybe if you did it where him and The Rock went in the same year, that would be a great 1-2 combination. It makes some logical sense. At Psycho Walker, what's your opinion on Booker T being inducted this year? I haven't really heard your thoughts on this one.
I'm as far as I'm going in this year. Yeah, this is maybe something they could have waited a couple years to do, but other than that, I'm okay with it.
Is this a situation, Mike, where he deserved to go in, so does it really matter?
It kind of just feels like they had some other plans maybe, and they're like, well, these aren't working out, so we'll go with Booker T because we're going to put him in there eventually anyway.
And he's in-house, and
right.
He'll agree to do it. He's on good terms. I kind of think along your lines that that's kind of what happened. That's what I've been thinking. Do I have any complaints about it? No, not really. Because if anything, it's just another, you know, decent name added to what is already a great Hall of Fame class. I wrote Catherine asked, will Hardcore Holly ever get into the WWE Hall of Fame?
I'm thinking there's probably a better chance that Crash Holly will get in the Hall of Fame.
Put the Hollies in together. Yes or no, Mike?
Stranger things have happened.
Drew Carey and Coco Beware. So there's if you're a big Hardcore Holly fan, I wrote Catherine, keep the faith. Drew Carey's in there. Pete Rose is in there. I know those are celebrity inductees, but hey, whatever. He could. I wouldn't hold my breath, but you never know. At J_McMurray 08. Who are the 3 guys you think should be inducted into the Hall of Fame that aren't in? The 3 guys that jump to your head.
Well, Macho Man, obviously. Ravishing Rick Rude.
Uh-huh.
And let's see, for as far as the third one, maybe a King Kong Bundy.
Okay. What about you?
Owen Hart,
Mm-hmm.
Jake the Snake,
Mhm.
Bruce the Barber Beefcake.
I will go with Scott Hall, Big Boss Man, and the British Bulldog. I could have thrown Bam Bam Bigelow in there too. Could throw Kevin Nash in there. There's a lot of names I could throw in there. Ultimate Warrior goes in there. A lot of guys. At Disco Ben, also known as Nebek Sid. Let's see here. He's got 2 questions. Good for you. If you designed the physical Hall of Fame, how would you do it?
It would be a large building with a lot of wrestlers' gear, or not gimmicks, but like props and stuff. I'd probably take a cue from the Hall of Fame here, but
On a much grander
on a
scale.
grander scale, yes.
I mean, you would probably copy, some of what they've done with the Baseball Hall of Fame, the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton. I would tend to think that the actual architecture, the physical structure, should be shaped like Triple H.
I was thinking it'd be more like a ring. Like the building would just be a giant ring.
No, I'm thinking the building should be a giant Triple H.
No, there'd be like a statue of Triple H as like the centerpiece. And you could go up into Triple H like the Statue of Liberty and look out over the city.
Well, there would be one of those, too.
Okay,
I'm just saying the physical structure would be Triple H. I mean, what would you guys rather have?
Are you sure it would be Triple H or would it be Vince? Because let's be honest, whoever is footing the bill for it is going to be who it is.
Well, what would happen is they probably make it with an interchangeable face. Because for many years, Vince and Triple H were basically the same size. So what would happen is when Vince would go by, it'd have Vincent K. McMahon's face on
So it would
there.
have like a hologram face?
Yeah, exactly. Any other time...
You gotta wear your special glasses when you're looking at it, Vince.
They'd have Paul Beck's face on there. If you had your choice, let's say one person, who would you kick out of the WWE Hall of Fame?
Drew Carey.
Drew Carey. I make it unanimous. Drew Carey. Sorry, Drew. No, I'm
Go
not.
back
You're
to
from
Cleveland.
No. Maybe him and Dream Boy will see each other at a bar and have a
Maybe
drink.
Dream Boy's his dad. Drew Carey's Dream Boy's dad.
Never know. I wouldn't explain the hair though. At Candy Lick
Explain
21.
the shitty camera though. He doesn't have Drew Carey's glasses.
Oh. At Candy Lick 21, which person besides Bruno are you most excited about seeing and being inducted this year?
How about Mr. Bob Backlund?
Stole mine.
Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson. He went in last year.
I know.
Mike Tyson's already in.
I know. I want to see him there again. Because he gets invited because he was in last year's.
Triple H.
He's not going in this year.
Bullshit. Every year that there's a class, he goes in.
Another reason to put him in the Hall of
That's
Fame.
right.
You know, honestly, Mick Foley.
Obviously, I'm going to side with Bruno and Mr. Bob Backlund. Those are obviously very worthy names.
Because Mick Foley's already in here. At the Hall of Fame.
Well,
Yeah.
he's technically not. He's an award winner.
That's true, but
it's a difference. You gotta have that great amateur background. But they still haven't put the Iron Sheik in.
or any women.
Give them any room. At I_Will_Kill_Bill, do you think Big Show deserves to eventually be in the WWE Hall of Fame? Thank God Dwayne and Tony are not here for this. You get total polar opposite answers. Probably be a great argument video.
Eventually.
He will be eventually.
For work he did way back, nothing recent.
Oh, come on.
Him and Sheamus could leave the WWE tomorrow, and I would throw a party.
The big tragedy about the Big Show, I think, has always been that this is a guy that is a legit 7 foot, a legit over 400 pounds. He can legit work different styles of matches. He's one of the most talented big men, giants you will ever see. And in this era of overexposure and constant TV and pay-per-view cycle, they've really watered him down so much to where when you see Big Show now, it's just Big Show's another guy. Big Show should be the fucking Big Show. What is Nick? He knows what he used to be way back when.
He should be an attraction.
He should be.
He should be a guy who you see at like SummerSlam, the Rumble, and WrestleMania.
Or if he works at a secondary pay-per-view, it's a big program against a big name individual. But yeah, Big Show will go in someday. Obviously deserving. I mean, you think about that, Mark. He's been almost 2 decades now.
Right?
It's a long way for being Captain Insano, I'll tell you that much. Those are all the questions that I think we had at this point for the Hall of Fame Q&A. Question I have for you, Mark. Where would you rank this year's class amongst the all-time great Hall of Fame classes?
I think it's got to be at the very least in the top 3. I'd almost say it's probably the best class of all of them.
I would argue 2005 was bigger because you had Hogan, Piper, Mr. Wonderful, Sheiky Bebe, Nikolai Volkov, Ace Cowboy Bob Orton, and the Mouth of the South Jimmy Hart. I think that might be the greatest Hall of Fame class you'll ever see. But this one measures up to me with 2004. This is a great Hall of Fame class.
Definitely.
Let's look ahead to WrestleMania 30 then. Trying to think of...
Mark, I know off camera you had asked about Bruno and who's inducting him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I heard Arnold Schwarzenegger is inducting him. It's like, I get that him and Bruno have been friends for about 40 years, but couldn't there have been like somebody like maybe a Larry Zbyszko or somebody like that? Somebody who had a rich history with? Maybe even an Ivan Koloff or somebody like that.
I guess my only question about it, Mark, it's interesting because this is the same Bruno that for years held it against Vince that they bring in somebody like Mike Tyson, pay him a few $1 million, but they bring a legend back and pay him $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. And I'm paraphrasing Bruno, but I'm pretty close to what he said. So I do find it interesting that we bring in Arnold to do it. But
maybe Bruno's like, they're footing the bill. I want to hang out with my friend that week.
Why not, right?
Yep.
I'd probably do the same damn thing. But at least you could say there's history there. Well, Arnold working with the company, too. Who are you surprised didn't go into this year's Hall of Fame class?
I was a little surprised Macho Man wasn't in again, but...
I know we still have another week left, so maybe there'll be one more announcement. Maybe we'll get Bam Bam Bigelow, Boss Man, Rude, somebody. I'd have to think there's going to be one more decent-sized name.
Mark, when you go in the Hall of Fame, which Off the Rope Show member is going to induct you?
I'd have to think about that one, but...
Way to take the puss answer.
Oh, I see how it is.
Who would you have induct you?
Metal D.
Really?
Canned Heat, baby.
What's his Canned Heat brother?
Oh, God. Who would I have induct me?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I'd like to see La Craccia without his shirt inducted on Tony T.
That I would like to see. I'm looking ahead to WrestleMania 30, though. I'm just thinking again of big names that I was surprised weren't in this class this year. And I think a guy like a Warrior, I was kind of surprised. He had some moments at MSG. I was very surprised he wasn't in there. I could understand the Owen Hart. Pillman's another guy that I'd love to see get in there at some point. I was kind of surprised they didn't make that happen this year. WrestleMania 30, who's going to be the big headliner in that class?
It probably depends. I mean,
because it's in New Orleans.
New Orleans?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, could be. Maybe not the big. Oh, shoot.
I would have to think that tag team wise, the Freebirds will have to be the ones to go in next year. They have a lot of history in that area.
Yep.
Under Watts is built Mid-South territory.
That'd be a good. That might be a good place to put in Jake the Snake because, I mean, he had a rich history in like Mid-South.
Yeah, he did absolutely, and WCCW, excuse me, close by, and who else? Interesting question.
Let us know down below.
Yeah. As far as other Hall of Fame stuff, where do you guys think they should build physical Hall of Fame?
Probably down in Florida.